Day 2 in Arizona. We're leaving our hotel here, and there's Chong Chong underneath the underneath the siding by the door. Hello, sir.
Hey all, and welcome to day 2 of my trip down in Arizona. There's a lot that we found on this day, and as you saw, it started right as we left out the hotel. And from here we actually headed southward to this beautiful little place called the Boyce Thompson Arboretum. If you're ever in the general Phoenix or Superior area, I strongly suggest you go check them out. We stopped here early in the morning just to see what was around, look at some of the plants, which, as much of a plant nerd as I am, I don't know half the names of most of the things that we saw there, but many of them were in bloom. They were beautiful. The grounds are beautifully kept up, and as a reptile nerd as well, there was a lot of scaly life to find on the grounds as well.
Our first reptile of the day. One of the spiny lizards. We'll get a label on him in a little bit. Oops, too far. There you are.
A common species of the desert southwest, the desert spiny lizard is one of many Scoloporus species found across the U.S. All of them are pretty similar at an initial glance, but slight differences in the patterns, that shape of that collar around the neck, or sometimes the actual scale structure on their legs or backs actually helps tell the difference between the different species, especially when there are 3 or 4 that might exist in the same area, such as in the mountains just to the north.
And there he goes. That thing is sea swill. And there's a dove of some kind.
Once you get down out of the mountains and even quite up a ways on the mountains that are right on the edge of the valley, the Sonoran region gets hot really early, really quick. And if you are not acclimated to that environment, you will feel it very quickly. But nevertheless, especially after that rainstorm, there were some beautiful flowers open all over the place. And of course, plenty of lizards love that heat.
Alright, we got ourselves one of the earless lizards, I think. Sitting right here. Come on, camera. There he is. Very pale guy. Beautiful.
While in my home state we have the lesser earless, when you get down into the desert south from Texas in through kind of up through the edge of the mountains in Arizona, you have the greater earless lizard, which is a much larger and also a much prettier animal, especially the adult males. Young and females tend to have this kind of pale washed out coloration, but the adult males, especially in breeding season, turn almost every shade of the rainbow. They have these brilliant black bars down their sides, and then they'll flush around other parts with bright green, fluorescent yellow, blues and pinks and reds. They are beautiful, and I hope to see one in full breeding colors one day. Unfortunately, they're also incredibly fast animals, and unless you catch one sleeping at night, you'll probably never get your hands on one. And photos at a distance are all you can manage.
Oh, he's pretty. That's a greater earless. For sure. Hello, sir.
At this point, it was over 100 degrees, unquestionably, outside, and I was really starting to feel the heat. So we headed back towards the visitor center, which turned out apparently to be the right decision because... Alright, so yeah, this is the western black-necked garter snake, Thamnophis certopsis. He was just crawling out alongside the wall here, probably taking advantage of all the watering is going on for the plants. And
did you find that here, or did you grab it with
yeah,
you?
he was just alongside here, actually.
Okay.
Getting some video because I document wildlife.
Just a little.
It's garter.
Oh, is it here? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little black-necked garter snake.
Oh. Sorry, we hear snake and we're like, uh-oh, because we did have a baby snake up here earlier, so.
Yeah. And this is a species I haven't gotten to see alive before, so this is a fun thing for me.
And what is it called again?
This is a western black-necked garter snake.
Oh, okay.
So,
Awesome.
harmless to people. They are mildly rear-fang venomous to hunt small frogs and fish and things like that, or they really like worms.
Okay.
But yeah, they rarely bite, and of course, it can't do anything to people because it's not designed for mammals.
Sure. Very cool.
And this is actually his tail's kind of messed up, but I think it's actually it might be a young female. So these guys will get to about 3 feet long. So this is pretty young, been around for maybe 2-3 years. Will probably mature in another year or so. So we'll get a couple of photos and then let him find out where he wants to go. So this is the most widespread of the 3 subspecies of black-necked garter snake. The other 2, the eastern black-neck, are restricted to Texas, and then there's the tropical black-neck, which is found further south in Mexico. These guys, like most garter snakes, tend to like riparian, wetland, or lakeside areas along some sort of water course, but these guys are somewhat more adapted to dry conditions in that they will survive in areas where water is only intermittent, maybe for even a couple days out of the year. They'll hunt anything that comes out during the rains, and at other times of the year, they'll just pick off small insects that suit them, or small lizards and frogs and things like that. Alright, dude, so you've been out down here, so we'll just let you find your way. Here you go. And he'll go find a spot to hide somewhere out in the rocks here. Oh, there's a lizard over there, too. A little big for the snake, but that's fine. Now, the abject heat of the day is no time to be out looking for wildlife down in Arizona, so we snoozed for a bit, went to visit family, went to check out. I've got family that's moving into a brand new house right at the base of the mountains. Got to see some of the wildlife that is in their own backyard. He's, yep, whatever he is, that little red bird. Brilliant flycatcher, I think. He's displaying to somebody. Must be a... Well, either there's a female or he might be threat displaying to
Another male too is a possibility. That's cool. Got a jackrabbit right there. The other camera will probably show it up a little better. You can see his red eye shine in the light here.
Yeah, it's funny because I saw it when I was standing next to you, but when I moved over here, I can't.
Famous for their oversized ears that they use as a personal air conditioner, these guys are not actually related to rabbits despite their looks.
That's a big old Solifugid. He's just going.
What are those huge grabbers on his front for?
Catching food and also sensing his environment. Not good on species. The ones that we have are definitely very different, but there he goes. Yeah, because the ones we have in Colorado don't have the long front legs. That guy's probably using it to find and capture small insects. Oh, he's stopped right here. It's a Solifugid.
Yeah, that's why we came.
They're where?
If you keep going down the trail, it was on the right side of the trail.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. Yep.
You gotta be careful though, because like that right there, oh, that's a stick. But sometimes you'll see poop and people will be really eager and go reach to grab it.
Grab the poop.
Well, yeah.
Alright, so here we have a very small striped-tailed scorpion. This is what I confused down in New Mexico for the bark scorpions, which we might also see out here. These guys get a little bit larger, and they have somewhat larger pinchers and a thicker tail, and they also have these ridge-like stripes on down their tail, 3 of them. They give them their name. Not quite as venomous as the bark scorpions are, but of course something you still don't want to get tagged by because you'll have a bad day. These guys, though, as long as you don't mess with them, they won't mess with you, so they're pretty inoffensive. And I'm not going to try it, but as long as you're gentle, you can often get them up on your hand and have them crawling around and have no issues at all. So we'll leave him be right where he is here.
Okay.
Alright, so we're going to show real quick, these guys actually fluoresce under black lights due to a pigment in their exoskeleton. So as I turn that off, you can see this guy just glowing away. Brilliant fluorescent green.
Okay, stand back with it. There you go.
He just glows in the light there. See if I can get a photo on my other camera too. Because these guys, it's just so cool. See that?
So yeah, if you ever want to go looking for scorpions out in the desert, or some other arthropods which might also glow, take a black light, because these guys will light up like they're literally being plugged into an electric socket against the dark backgrounds at night.
Alright, we have ourselves here. This is the Tucson banded gecko. These are in the same family as leopard geckos, but this is our North American version. There's a couple different species and then multiple subspecies, particularly of this one, that go all the way across southeast US. He's twitching his tail to try and get me distracted from him. So these guys are known as eyelid geckos, because like the leopard geckos, the rest in the family, and unlike most other geckos, they actually have eyelids. You can actually see him sometimes here. He'll blink his eyes. So
Your
other
light's
geckos,
pretty bright on him.
other geckos
That's better.
have to lick their eyeballs to keep it wet, but these guys actually can blink and protect their eyes that way. It might be an adaptation to the dry environments that they live in. They also have claws on their fingers, as opposed to suction cups and the sticky pads that other geckos have. But that's another species that I was really wanting to see here, so we'll get a couple of photos and then let him on his way. Yeah, we'll see if we can get him. So I'm going to turn off my headlamp. He glows just a little bit, particularly some of the skin around his legs. Look at that. That is so cool. Alright, we're going to get a couple of photos here. Keep that on for a second.
So yeah, just like the leopard geckos, these guys are in the family Eublephaриdae, so they have those eyelids and the claws on their fingers. And this subspecies, the Tucson banded gecko, just about here in the Phoenix area and moving west, it starts to integrate with the desert banded gecko, another subspecies in the same species. Off to the east, there's also the Texas banded gecko, a different species that is found, of course, in Texas.
Here we go. You were out on this rock ledge. And actually, that's why this... Whoop, woo, and there he goes!
Flying.
And he's... Alright, we got another little striped tail scorpion here. He's just out looking for food.
Okay.
Alright, we have... Light on. We have a bark scorpion here, which you can tell because of those really skinny pincers and the skinny tail. This is the one that you don't want to mess with. So there's him fluorescing. You notice it's a different color from the other ones too, slightly. Each one might be a slightly different shade. So I'm going to put my headlamp on it now. You can see kind of that pale golden coloration. Interesting, he's hunting up in the bush here, which I haven't seen before. So that's cool, 2 different species in one night. Alright, so we've got here a really, really big scorpion. This might be yet another species, actually. You see him fluoresce there. And down a hole he goes. Perhaps the tiniest of scorpions we've seen. Finger for scale. Look at that thing. He's so tiny.
That scientific name, Confusus, is kind of fitting for these guys too, because they're often confused with the bark scorpion with which they look similar, and they also resemble their close relative, the striped-tailed scorpion. You'll notice they don't really have the stripes on their tail, which you can distinguish from the striped-tailed scorpion. And then from the bark scorpion, they tend to have a thicker tail, particularly right at the base where the first couple of segments are just as wide as they are long. In the bark scorpion, they are longer than they are wide. Coloration, otherwise, is pretty similar. So that's 4 species of scorpion in all the same area in one night.
Another big old scorpion here fluorescing under Rio's light. Look at that guy. He felt a bug go by. That is a big old scorpion. Will even be.
These guys are by far the biggest of the scorpions you'll find in Arizona, getting up to and maybe just over 6 inches in length, and as their name suggests, covered in little hairs that the other species generally don't have, at least they're not as noticeable.
Let's try that again. A scorpion who was on the move. There he goes. And if we move anything, he goes off. Off the trail, dude. There you go.
Okay.
Alright, we've got here another, my second live baby western downback rattlesnake. And it's a good sign that he's out here, because hopefully other things will also be on the move. This guy's actually got a much more distinct pattern than the one that we found the night before. Much darker bands around his diamonds. He's got the same, just one single little button there though, so he's only had his first shed and is probably out hunting for his first couple meals here. Just poking around. An adorable little guy. But that's definitely a good sign. Hopefully we'll see some of the other species that are in the area.
I wonder if he's the same one that they're talking about.
Might be.
I think I had what a beauty.
Alright, and this is the western downback under a black light. He's not biofluorescing as much as some other species have, and we've seen some records of that, but he still shows up just a little bit. Very cool snake.
So for more on this species and to see the biggest western downback that I might ever see in the wild, check out Arizona Day 1 video that was posted just before this one. Yes, so there has been some evidence that I've heard of some species of rattlesnakes have some biofluorescence, kind of like the scorpions do, where certain parts of their patterns or even their rattles have some sort of pigment that will actually fluoresce back certain colors like bluish or greenish in ultraviolet light. This guy didn't show off much of it, but possibly enough to where you might be able to spot them with a black light if you're searching around at night for them.
What we have here on the web, there he is, or she, a western black widow, floating in the breeze. Second Solifuge of the night. Look at that guy. Look at that funky face. Those long legs. We don't get them this size or with those legs up in Colorado. We got a different species.
Oh, we have different, yeah.
And there he goes, somewhere.
We
Alright, we got ourselves a second rattlesnake here. This might be actually a young female. She's really skinny, so she might have been one of the ones to give birth here. Don't go just yet. I want to look at you, okay? This one's actually got a slightly pinkish tone, which might be for blending in with the kind of pinkish rocks in the area. It's cool, yeah. You can see, if you look close on her side, you can see where the skin is kind of folded and flappy, because she's definitely in need of a feed, and I'm almost certain that means she's been one of the ones to give birth out here. She's poking around looking for the kangaroo rats, probably. So, hopefully, with a little luck, she will actually find one of them and get a couple meals in her so that she can continue supporting the population in the area. And you can see, we've come up on her. Since we haven't tried to attack her or anything, she is not rattling, she's not really caring about us, she's just kind of going on about her business. And if you look really close too, right now you can see her eyes do not have slit pupils right now because it is dark outside. The pupils have opened up so that they can use more of the available light at night here so they can see better. So you can't use that as a means of identifying venomous versus non, because those pupils will change shape depending on light. So, since she's off hunting, we'll let her go about her business.
Definitely a decent sized, kind of pinky looking rattlesnake, and having just seen my own Sambo at home give birth and have those really flappy skin flaps on the back half of her body, I'm pretty sure it's the same case with this girl, having just dropped some babies in the past couple of weeks.
That little female underneath the black light, her belly is just glowing right there.
Ouch. Ouch. Did something get you? Biting me. I didn't know they could do that. Ouch.
Rattle actually glows really well under the black light. Nice.
Yeah, so after seeing this girl, I've definitely come to the conclusion I need to get a somewhat better quality black light and go out using it a little more often at night when looking for reptiles. Certainly the next time I go down to Arizona, I'll have to make sure I remember that.
We got a scorpion here carrying juveniles. Wow. There it goes under a rock. And disappeared. Under your light, it literally is just blinding on the camera here. Bark scorpion on the move. And it's just going. Oh, he got something.
Good job.
Yep.
Looks like something was tickling his chin.
And they probably grabbed like a little ant or something. Hunting for more. Yeah, they're covered in little hairs that are sensitive to movement, so basically, if anything moves and they sense it and it seems like prey, they will grab it. And if it's bigger than prey, well, then they might sting it in defense. There it goes.
So after looking at that scorpion, we parted ways with my friend Rio, and, well, he headed off home. We headed out road cruising down southeastward, but as much stuff as we had already seen that night and as much as is coming up, I'm afraid I'm going to have to split this video into two. So the next half of the night you'll see in the next video. I'll leave you with a little clip though, just to see what's coming up at the end here. But until then, you can always check out more little clips and videos, stuff that I didn't show in here on Instagram or TikTok, Facebook. Patreons might also get some special bonus clips and photos, and you can also help support the production of educational videos like this at patreon.com/hcarlton. One-time donations can also be made at coffee.com/carltoncarnivores. There's other ways you can help support as well by visiting the website carltoncarnivores.com, where we have links to the merchandise shop as well as the list for the plant shop. The database is on there and all the means to contact me. But until next time, here's a little sneak peek, and I'm Hawken Carlton at Carlton Carnivores.
Oh, no. Got him. Holy.